humble
Alright,
supplication.
give me a moment and let me pull the stream up on my phone so I could see if your audio is working as well. I'm gonna mute my mic.
Universe and founded paradise. For I, Fischl, and the Prinzessin der Verirrt.
I'm gonna say something political. No, I'm just kidding.
You better not. My stream's not popping up for me. Hold on.
I do worry
There it
about
is.
the well-being of my retinue during my impromptu absence.
I'm sure the good people of the Adventurers Guild are absolutely fine, mein Fräulein.
Say something.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
I created
Diona
another
special.
universe and founded paradise.
Deluxe the best.
For I, Fischl, and the Prinzessin der Verirrt.
Zhongli's the best. Yes.
Alright, it went through. Oh, I guess here's a good tester then, apparently. We got 2 people trying to kill us. Alright, everyone. We're doing a quick suggestive builds for bows, mostly the 4 stars, and then spear as well for 4 star. And if y'all have 5 stars around the end, we'll do the 5 stars, as you can see in our builds. Now, I have a 5-star bow on Fischl, but right now that does not matter. I do not care. It's level 1, so don't worry about that on anything. But yeah, so as you can see, not doing much damage. Most builds are really good with charge shots. And then of course, Diona can heal with her ult. Her skill is she'll shoot those, and she's an ice style archer. And then, well, me, I'm Fischl, and she is a thunder style archer. As you can see, the little sphere up there, that's her birdie right here, who's a turret. And once he's gone from the field, he will attack with you as a secondary. And they've changed it up to where now it's permanent with you as long as you're attacking. And then her ult, she fuses with the bird to do a giant damage, and then lets him out as a turret. So these 2 are really good for combinations. Like Diona, she's a good support, and same thing with Fischl. Fischl's an aggressive support, Diona's a all-arounder support. She has an ult that deals damage slowly, and she heals when you're in the field of it. Then her skill attack, as you saw, shoots out little paws, doing damage, but it also gives you a shield. So that being said, let's finish up this up. Alright, let's switch to our 5 stars just to finish this up real quick. Excuse us. But yeah, we do enjoy this. I picked this spot so we could show you like the damage ratios for some of it. Like, of course, I have my child set up for this charge shots with crits and his skill ability. Alright, there we go. Alright, now back to our main. Alright, so with Diona, since you have her out and everything, go ahead and tell them about like the stacks and...
Okay, so basically Diona is a 4-star cryo bow user, of course. What I do with Diona is basically support. I don't use her for any DPS purposes really. My goal with her is basically just to use her ult, which is Diona Special, which is, that's not the correct name, but I call it that. Also, I use her R2, which is, or her E, I believe, in the keyboard is her shield, which is Icy Paws. Depending on how long you hold it, you can do two, I believe, 2 to 3 paws. Let me take one quick look on Diona real quick. Character-wise, her talents. So Icy Paws. On hold, she dashes back quickly before firing 5 icy paws, and then the shield, of course, created holds by a hold attack will gain like 75% damage absorption bonus. And then if you press it, it rapidly fires 2 icy paws. See, it deals cryo damage to the opponent in form as a shield a hit, and its damage absorption scales off based on Diona's max HP, and the duration scales off the icy number of paws it hits their targets.
I created another universe, and
Yeah, so that's what I do. And one way to like make her support better is with the bow of I think sacrificial bow that I use for her. And that's a really good support because it ends the cooldown. See, after damaging
It's the one that has the
opponents,
chance to end it.
yeah, it has a like 40% chance to end the cooldown, and then it only occurs like every 30 seconds, I believe. And unfortunately, I only got it in refined rank 1, which I would love to have it refined like R5, and
Yeah.
it's way better. But that's a really good support bow for Diona. I would not use Rust or anything like that. One of the things I do for her is recharge, Elemental Mastery, and yeah, that's what I concentrate on. Elemental Mastery, recharge, and of course, I do put in a little bit of crit damage. Just I like to have a little DPS just because with the Diona especially you can do like damage wise.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just use her just support. So we concentrate on her energy recharge. What else? Energy recharge.
Wouldn't it be max? Your max health points?
Yeah, I would do a little bit of health HP there, and that's about it really. As the whole damage up, but I don't put a lot of effort to it. If you have your substats for attack percentage, that'd be great. But I really don't concentrate on that because I really don't use her. I just throw her out there just for like a few seconds, and then I just pull her out and just go with the Diluc. Zhongli, of course, now he's with the post buff.
Okay.
Then so forth.
Alright. And then with how I have mine, Fischel, let me go into the talents and stuff. So with hers, just basic attack. Everyone has this for all the archers, just basic attack, keep a hold of it, or if you have
I do worry about
the
well-being
buttons,
of my
what you
retinue
know of,
during my impromptu
for
absence.
aiming down
I'm sure the
sights,
good
they'll
people of
charge
Adventurers
the
Guild are
attack.
absolutely
But
fine,
the
Mainframe.
Knight Rider here has its own stuff. It's attack damage, summoning damage, and all that stuff. You have to level it up for its own damage output. And then with the next one, it's same thing, base. It's just leveled off of that. But the further you go in, oh, sorry about that. Like it'll do certain amount of damage equal to her, and same thing with that. And then if you go further in with Constellation, it'll upgrade it to where you're able to do additional damage, and then it's also based off of Fichel's base attack and overall attack together. So just make her pure damage and you're golden. And if you'd like to, if you're a good shot, I'd say definitely add crit setup, so that way when you get your headshots can crit as well, because headshots do bonus damage on all archers. Alright, and then let me switch it up and go to the base archer that you'll get at the beginning of the game. Give me a moment. Switch out Fischel for Ambier. Alright. Now with Amber here, going back into it. I gave her the Favonius Swim Bow, so her crits give her more energy. But her Baron just has its own explosions and everything. It's a fun little doll thing. Let me toss it here. There you go. It'll do dance. I'm pretty sure you've seen memes about it, dancing everywhere. And then after a few rotations, it explodes. And then her ult, she just shoots an arrow up into the sky and creates a field wherever it was in front of her into a field of arrows that rain down that does fire element. And then for that, as you can see when I get into here, this has no bonuses on it, but this itself has total bonuses per arrow hit. So the longer they're in it, the more damage they get. And then overall, that's the damage they get with the wave total adds on top of that. It's a decent cooldown, decent cost, so it's pretty good energy recharge if you would like on all of hers. And I would suggest if you're looking to use her as a destructive force, I would go with attack percentage just for her charge shots. And then I'd do anything else that gives a fire damage bonus, including accessories or like the cups. If I go back into here real quick for artifacts, how that does hydro bonus, physical, electro. Give one that does pyro bonus, and then if you can get a set, get a set of the fire witch. I do believe is the one that bonuses for pyro, so you can make her skill and her explosions even greater. And that's pretty much for all of those 4 stars. Nothing big. We just gave you quick little introductions. Like, let me go shoot this Electro real quick. See, decent damage because she puts fire on the ground and everything. And then you could throw it around. And the cool thing about Baron Bunny is that it's a distraction. As you can see, we're
That's cheating. Tired.
oh dang. And I didn't get a chance to show you her ult because just wanted to nuke me.
Go, go, Baron Bunny.
As you can see, I'm not very strong in the damage department because I haven't really worked on my Amber at all. Once I got Fischl, I started working on Fischl, and then, of course, once I got the 5-star one, I'm not a big archer, as you can see. Oh. Yo, after my rabbit.
Tired.
Holy crap, again. Oh well. So, the arrow, it just deals more damage as it comes down. But yeah, with that, we can go on to our other part of this, which is I'm going to get out of combat area while Diona has fun with that. And then, come on, there we go. I'm going to switch over and show you the only 4-star spear that you can technically get for free when you get high enough through the story in some points. Where is she? Ah, there she is. There it is. And here she is. Now, I was reading what they did because they changed up a little bit from what I remember her constellations. Her constellations are pretty broken. If you can get her maxed out, I'd say go for it. Because in the end, just like with Amber, the more fire and the longer they're on fire, the more damage you're gonna do. It's ridiculous. Like, let me get into here just to show you. Of course, I did Dragon's Bane, so whenever they're affected by Pyro or Hydro, she deals more damage to them. I haven't given her anything because I haven't really worked on her. I've been working on a certain set of few people. But like with this little guy, he summons and does attacks, which is an AoE cone, so he'll shoot in front of him, and he can actually change this direction. The damage, not that bad, pretty decent all around. Then this one, it deals damage and it spins around you as it deals damage. The more hits, as you can see, it'll do more damage the more rotations it takes it. Now, here's where it starts getting pretty cool. See, opponents hit by your bear reduce. Then the last attack in your sequence applies an explode status for 2 seconds. An explosion will occur if they actually get hit when it lands on them, and it does 75% of her attack. So once again, build an offensive build, so a gladiator build pretty good, but it's the attack stat, not her what she can deal out. Then you have, of course, your Pyronado, her ult. It'll last for 40% more. This one just increases your abilities. And then this one, which I can't wait to grab, for the whole duration of her ult, all party members receive a bonus in pyro damage. So if you like fire or having a fire setup, that'd be pretty what you want right there. Like, here. See, he does a little fire. Just breathes there. Don't light the cat on fire, god dang. But yeah, let's see if I can't. Yeah, it won't show anything because I haven't actually gotten into a fight. Let me, let's go pull this person out real quick. And hey guys, here you go. And because they're stuck in that fire right now, because they're being retarded, here they come. Alright, so. Oh, we're having us experiencing some lag now. There we go. Saw that little explosion. And those can appear every 2 seconds, so, and then let me get my Pyronado out now. And all this fire, just throw out my bear as well. It just deals more damage in total. Like, hers is all about her pyro damage. But of course, it can deal tons of damage to me as well, so. We're having a little bit of issues with it being synced. So we're desynced with each other, but yeah. As you can see, the more pyro damage, of course, and if I had the right stuff, the more damage overall it would do. Here, let me switch over to her and just show you the heals. Look at that. She's not that high in HP, but still, it did a lot. And that's good for me.
Yeah, this is just a throw and make shift right now. I haven't really truly worked on Diona, so when I do that, it'll change more.
Alright, and then we're good, since it's around the ending of it, since we've shown you all these, and I'll give you like updates on each of the characters the more I actually upgrade them, which once I'm done with my main 2 squads for the Abyss, I'll deal with it. Oh, and also on our next one with the swords, if Javi would like to join me, we'll introduce all the different 4-star swords, and then we'll do a Callus after that, and we'll make sure to also start talking about the Abyss and like decent team comp setups. That would be good. But Wow, okay. They really did not like your heal area.
Yeah, they didn't.
It's like, nah, I
Just
don't
like,
want that
yeah,
continuous
they
damage.
just wanted to run away.
Oh, and just to let y'all know, like, if there's ever any elemental shields that you have, like, on your characters or anything like that, those elemental shields absorb, like, 3 to 4 times as much if it's the same element of the shield, by the way.
Boba, get them! Let's go, let's go!
Come on. Yeah, that's right, run through that fire. And then all this damage. And there you go. Alright, now we'll do a quick switch over to our people for the 5-star portion of it. Like Child and Ganyu. So if you want Javi, you can go first with Ganyu.
Of course, what I just did right there was is E or R2 for PlayStation players. Is basically a lotus, ice lotus, where it's used to distract your opponent, like basically like the Baron Bear, but better, because of the damage output. Also, her Q or her triangle is her ultimate, which is a huge AoE damage circle, which is really, really, really big. Let me see if I can pull it out right now. Um, yeah, so all this right here is the AoE damage area where it's, you know, oh, wow, it just ran over the cliff and jumped. So, so while I'm here in this portion area where the AoE damages was located, there is an extra bonus, damage bonus for the allied or Ganyu being in there, so there's extra damage for being in that circle if you're inside of it. And of course you get cryo damage as well.
No time to lose.
You might want to move.
Oh, Celestial Shower. I forgot that frozen, so let me call out. So let me child.
Let's finish this out real quick.
Bring it on.
There we go. Alright. Now that we got
So,
that taken care of, go ahead.
so we got for his talents, like I said before, of course, the Trail of Quillen, which is the ice flower lotus or flower lotus, ice lotus if you want to call it. It's basically like a Baron Bear distraction. Gets the attention of all creatures in a certain area and attack it. And of course, its output,
place is
endurance
pretty
scale is
dead.
by Ganyu's HP,
By which I
max
mean,
HP.
there's nothing to kill.
And then it, of course, once it's destroyed or it's destroyed, it deals AoE cryo damage afterwards. If you have it into C1, no C2, I believe you can have 2 of those. If you have it to C2. Unfortunately, I have it at C1, so I can only do 1 at a time. I would love to have C2, but yeah.
I'll whip one up in no time.
Also, the Celestial Shower, which I just showed, which is just a triangle, or the E, or the Q, I mean, that one does a huge circle of AoE damage within the area. If you stay there in the circle, you do a certain amount of damage, extra damage. So let me pull up the talent real quick. Okay, Celestial Shower, Astromatic Fear or Astromatic Frost is snow to summon a sacred cryo pearl that exercises evil. During the ability duration, the sacred cryo pearl will continuously rain down ice or shards, striking the opponent with it within AoE and dealing cryo damage. And let's see, so it has a duration of 15 and a cooldown of 15 seconds. So basically, not really a cooldown. So it's a continuous Q or alt if you have the right artifacts for it. which I'm trying to work on right now. And one of the goals is to get the recharge being like around 160. So that cooldown will be non-existent after I get it in the right perfect conditions. And of course the energy cost is 60, so that's where the energy recharge has to go. So I can just have that quick charge and I can just constantly, continuously do that AoE damage that I want. And also the AoE damage is just so big. I believe bigger than Zhongli's, yes. What else? Yeah, that's about it for her alternate, her E, or I'm sorry, her R2. And the bow I use is right now it's a battle pass bow, which is called what's it called? I completely forgot. The Verdicent Hunt's bow. That one I got it to level 70. I actually don't have it at Refined 5 yet. I have it Refined 1, but it's a really good bow option because it's crit rate, and also upon hit you get I believe a 50% chance to generate a cyclone. Then of course it also does 40% of tag damage every 0.5 seconds for 4 seconds. And this also occurs around 14 seconds, I believe. So that's a really good option versus any other bows besides, you know, the Animal's bow. That's the bow that's made for Ganyu. I'm not sure if there's any other bows that I think is better besides the Cliff, I believe, right? Bronze?
The Cliff?
Yes, is that one of the bows, right?
Yeah, that one should be it.
It's crit rate as well, yeah. So that one, but I prefer the BP, the Battle Pass version better. And of course, the best option is the Animals, so yeah. That's all. And of course, she's also crit rate, so you can concentrate on that. Crit damage as well. And then of course a recharge for her ult. Those are the 3 main components you want to work on. She's a really good DPS. She's also a really good support DPS. And I believe she's a really decent support. Overall, she's a really good tier character. Actually, I think she's like almost or is broken when it comes to damage output. I don't have her into that whole like constantly crit damage because I'm still working on her as well. I just got her. Yeah. Other than that, she's out of all the bows besides Child, I think she's way better than Child in, you know, the DPS department. If you want that dumb damage, Ganyu's the character, the way to go if you just want to use her. So, yeah.
Alright. And then we'll move on to Child here, the other 5-star archer. We do not have the last 5-star archer, sad to say. None of us do here, except for like 2 of our friends. But, so, Child here, he's a water archer. His little gimmick is all about marking people. That marking, when he shoots another charge shot at that person, if they would stop teleporting around, that marking makes it to where he deals more damage in a little burst. And he has a secondary form for his skill, which he creates aqua blades. And those aqua blades, whenever they crit, they mark, or if they crit when they're already on a marked character, they trigger it to do its little burst damage. And if he kills somebody while they're still marked, it'll do burst damage around them and the little AoE, which will in turn mark more people. And then his ult has 2 different styles. This one, which depletes the mark and does a burst damage around him. And then the other one where he'll fire into the air and then it'll come down, which refreshes the mark and also does an AoE. So if you want to keep marks on them, you'll use your bow. If you want to destroy people with the marks, you'll use your melee. I prefer to use him with his melee, so that way with crit build, Like, don't even worry about crit damage. Just do that crit chance and hydro with some base attack and recharge, and you're golden. And that's pretty much it for Child. There's nothing really big going on. Like, if you can get him higher up in his constellation at all whenever he comes back out. His first one's just... Oh, I don't... Who is wanting to join? Sorry. We're not accepting at the moment. But yeah, so if you want to get him even better and you wish to use the R2, that is C1, aka Constellation 1, will be your best thing to ever have on him. Now that we're done with the bow 5 stars, we'll get into the spear 5 stars.
Actually, I did forget something to say about Ganyu's. So besides her, amazing AoE damage and her amazing R2, which distracts and kills off her max HP, she also does her normal attacks with a charge. So basically, she has a 1 and 2 charge. So her basically 1 charge is just one cryo arrow to hit, and then the second one, if you hold it long enough, you get AoE kind of type of thing, where you just hit and this does AoE damage from that second charge. Actually, the fun thing about Ganyu is you really don't have to aim. All you need to do is hit close enough, like to the ground, and you will hit your target, and that will do pretty decent good damage with or without hitting the target. If you do hit, you do twice the damage. One just hit, and the other one most likely, if you have crit rate up to say 50, you will crit, and you have a really decent. If you have a decent crit rate and decent crit damage, you'll do some really dumb DPS. That's why Ganyu is such a really good DPS unit. She just get hit twice if you crit. And I believe that's all I can say. But other than that, equipped her cup with like cryo damage, and then the rest of it being attack and or elemental mastery as well. Like I said, I'm gonna be working on her 2-piece gladiator, 2-piece. I forgot cryo piece. I forgot what the cryo pieces were, but that's one. Make sure I'm gonna work on. So yeah, that's all I have for Ganyu.
All right.
Hopefully I didn't forget anything. Yeah.
Yeah, some of these 5 stars have a lot wider kits than the 4 stars, which that's why they're the 5 star besides base stats being higher. Alright, and now for my spear 5 star.
The edgy.
Yeah. The reason why he's always edgy is because his element is an emo.
Oh my gosh, this is not happening right now. Okay, I even gave you that joke myself, but okay.
Yeah, and then you set it up, and I decided to do it.
Exactly. That was
but
my fault. That was my fault.
But he has, as you can see, on his R2 or E, but his skill is a rush, which is wind damage. And whenever you level him up enough to get that extra bonus, when you do it twice in a row, it does more damage. But don't worry, he'll auto go towards the target, so if you pass through them with the first rush, he'll turn around if you press it again right after and go back through them. His setup is this for his basic attack. His charge attack is an uppercut, and his ult empowers him when he puts on the mask that's on his hip. And all his abilities and basic attacks are animo infused, so he only does animo damage. But his swirl damage and his overall damage is increased by 100%. So, let's get to a fight. Let me go down here. There we go. And one of the better things about this guy is the fact that his dive damage is wonderful, and he doesn't take any damage no matter how far he falls, if you're doing a dive attack. If you're not doing a dive attack, then it's not going to help. Alright, and now that I've charged it up, his ult, as you can see... Oh, let me get this taken care of. When he jumps super high compared to the others, and then his attack is just infused with wind. But, if you haven't noticed, my health takes damage over time as I use it, so it's a double-edged blade that will hurt you if you're not quick enough. There are combos you can use with people to nullify the damage, but other than that, his basic setup is around wind. Just give him more damage, more animo damage, and then just make sure you keep an eye out with everything. And crit build up with basic attack is good on him, so you can always do a crit build with this guy. Or if you want just pure damage, just do pure damage. And just to put it nice and simple, he is a very good DPS, but as you can see with my health, he takes a ton of health. So if you want, I would put in, for the subcategories, max HP percentage, just to get his health high enough to not have to worry about it. It won't kill you, but it will bring you down to where you could just be like a feather would scrape you and you'll just die. So that's pretty much I got for Xiao. The wind DPS spear. Now, onto the literal god over here.
So, of course, I also play with Xiao, but I also play with Zhongli. Zhongli is one of my favorite characters in Genshin Impact, but besides that, he has literally is just like a walking tank if you have him with the right setup. Right now my HP is at 28,000, but that's because all my rolls were really bad, and so I kind of adjusted the setup that I want for right now. So he's mainly more like attack percentage, attack percentage, and has subsets of HP percentage and HP, then crit rate, crit damage, and let's see, artifacts wise. So he's running a 2-piece of Noblesse, 2-piece Bloodstained Chivalry for the physical damage bonus, which is 25, and of course 2-piece Elemental Burst damage was 20%. See, for his ultimate, which is Befall. Oh, sorry. It's called Planet Befall, and then of course his dominant is Lapis, for you know, that burst damage. Also, he scales off health HP. His attack scales off from his max HP. His HP, I believe. So around like what was it? 1.39, I believe.
Yeah, it's 1% point like 39 for his base attack and then everything.
Yeah, after that, yeah. So with the post buff Zhongli, he's pretty more broken than ever. I mean, pre-buff, was already fantastic. He was mainly used for like support. Unfortunately, his DPS damage output wasn't as great as I wanted it, but I still loved it. But this Zhongli now is like, I would say it's almost broken. Is it broken or is it almost broken? That one.
I would agree. If you have him as a damaging output HP tank, he is the broken.
Okay, yeah. So that's my guy. So now since with this post off, like I said, like he said, making him into tank / DPS. He's a bruiser. He's a really good bruiser, and with a good setup, he basically just breaks everything. Besides the abyss. If you have him at C2, he's fantastic with support, because he just Planet Befall just gives you a shield afterwards, which I do have. C2 Zhongli, which is ecstatic. So other than that, he's just great overall. if you're gonna work on, if you do have a Zhongli, and you're gonna work on Zhongli, and depending on what you want to do as a support, I would work on his talents on the Planet Befall, Dominus Lapis for seconds, and then of course attack third. I on the other hand will be doing all-rounder, just all-rounder bruiser slash DPS kind of character, so I'm gonna be balancing all three. So right now he's at seven normal attack, 7 Dominus, and 8 Befall Planet. And like I said, if you want to work on that burst damage, which is his ult, I would try to get a cup a Geo cup, and let it be either from the Archaic Petra set, or what was it? What's called a Bolide cup. Or if you want to go with like physical, but you also want to do a little bit of geo damage, I would go Bloodstained Chivalry there as well. 2-piece also like Gladiator. That's also great. And you can, now with Zhongli being so broken, you can actually mix it up now more, and more easier to figure out what you want. I on the hand just wanted to become a huge DPS booster guy with a lot of HP, but right now I have nothing that with HP main stat, so I'm working on that to like at least 30k maybe. With Staff of Homa coming, that's gonna even make it better, because he also does crit damage of his HP, I believe. Oh, and the spears that you want, or the pole arms you want to use, are of course, if you want to do a DPS Zhongli, you can go with Crescent Pike, of course. That's always a good one to go with. What else? Crescent Pike. Let me see if I can pull out my weapons. If I can find my weapons real quick. Okay. Okay, you can go with Primordial Jade Wing Spear, which is also a really great spear for damage output, because it gives you crit rate, and that's what I have for my Zhongli. Also, you can go with Dragon Spine Spear, which is, I believe, better than Crescent Pike, but depending on the passive it has, it just varies. Where this one hits an opponent with a normal attack and has 60% chance of forming a icicle and doing the AoE damage equal to 80% of the attack, and then of course, opponent affected by cryo damage instead dealt 200% of the attack. So if you have a combination of Zhongli and or Ganyu, that can work. There's also Crescent Pike, of course, like I said, the best option if you want to do, if you don't want to do the Dragon Spine. It does elemental ore particles with a normal charge attack, dealing damage equal to 25% of the attack for 4 seconds. And of course, the Skyward Spine is also a great option, which is energy recharge if you want to go that support route where you're going to charge Zhongli and just do that ult, spam it every time. And also the Deathmatch, which is good for Zhongli as well as Zhao. That's also a crit rate based weapon, and it does and there's at least 2 opponents nearby, the attack is increased by 16% and defense is increased by 60%. If there's less than 2 opponents nearby, the attack is jumped up 24%. You do have the deathmatch on your Zhao, right?
Yeah, I'm using it right now.
Yeah.
Just
And then,
swinging around you.
And also another good option for 4 stars, and this is also for Zhao, is Euphonious Lance. That's a good energy recharge. If you don't have, like, say, a Skyward Spine, that's a good option for energy recharge to go with your Zhongli if you want to go the support route. Crit hits have a 60% chance to generate a small amount of elemental particles, which regenerate 6 energy for the character, and this occurs only like 12 seconds, I believe. And that's also a great option. And depending on the support and DPS, that's, you know, it's your choice. Like I said, Zhongli is a support, DPS, so I'm going with the Crescent Primordial, the Primordial Jade Wing Spear for that, just because I want that crit rate up, so I can just constantly get that crit damage every time I hit. Yeah, that's all I can think of right now for Zhongli. Yeah, I believe that's what I have covered for him right now. I'm still working on them, HP wise.
Yeah, I get you. Trying to at least have HP in all your stuff.
Yes, it's very important for Zhongli to be very buffy, you know, because the HP, of course, is such a critical thing for him. So when I want to go to shield, I can get that 10. I can just, you know, keep hitting, getting hit. Um,
The damned
Even
will
when
sooner
you
die
play
again
against
than lay a
child,
hand on
a
me.
child, you know that one of the bosses is being child. He does that well. All he slams on you. He takes your shield. It's depending on how much damage, you know, how much your HP is scaled off that shield. So that is a very important thing for my Zhongli.
Oh, and another thing to all you out there that the shields, if they have a element that they fuse with, like say if electricity, water, or ice hits a fire shield, that fire shield will also have a burst of its health taken out as well. It depends on which one hits it, depending on the type of combination. But with that, it'll either deplete it quicker, or it'll just have a little sliver bonus.
Oh yes, I completely forgot about the post buff Zhongli's new abilities. That all I said was pre-buff as well. So what the post buff does now. So for example, if Zhongli used to do just a pillar and no shield, right? So if that's what it does. But now if you have your now with the post buff, you can hold your R2 and put shield, and you get your Jade Shield up, which it's a great buff because playing with Zhongli, you always want to be shielded. And I felt like with the pre-buff Zhongli, the pre-buff, pre-Zhongli was always off for some reason, and then with this one it just felt right. Now every time I hold to do shield, you would get staggered before you pull out your shield. Now that's no longer the case. So when you hold the R2, you don't get pushed before or after your shield, which is fantastic. If I were to blow up a barrel, I would not fly in the air while I have my shield on, which was really weird. And now that's not the case, which is also great. Um,
Oh, and as a disclaimer, real quick, everybody, his is an upgraded Zhongli.
yes,
If you haven't heard him earlier, that's why
yes.
he
So
can do two.
yes, it's a C2. C1 basically, C1 basically gives you a second pillar. C2 gives you shield when you put out your ult. If you have an ally or you just by yourself and you just happen to do Planet Befall, your shield will just pop up afterwards, which is also a great thing. And this is what that was before the post.
Yeah, it saved me before, and whenever we were doing combo matches, and I was with a low-level person.
Yes, and also once you have your shield up, any enemy that's near you, like a small AOE, will actually shred their resistance to I believe Geo.
It's just Geo, yeah.
Yeah, Geo. And then any physical or any elemental damage that comes to you on this shield while when you pulling up your shield will do 100, 200, or was it 100? I believe. Let me pull up real quick. When pulling up the Jade Shield.
I like how it's called the Jade Shield, and it's a topaz color.
Yeah, or maybe I just call it Jade Shield just because I believe I saw.
No, it's called the Jade Shield.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
it's topaz color, but it's a Jade Shield.
Yeah.
Trust me. I remember reading it.
Alright, let me see if I can pull it up real quick. Stone Cradle Jade, yeah, so Jade Shield. Oh, where I can't find it. Oh,
Hark,
I can't.
hark, hark. Well,
Okay, so holding the fall damage. Okay, so when Jade Shield takes damage, it will fortify before the character has 5% increased shield strength. Can't cycle until no, that's not it. I can't find it. I don't know where is it. Oh, here it is. It's on top of that. It's such a like if you look at the talent info that you have to scroll all the way down to find the Jade Shield. That's how much stuff they buffed Zhongli with. So Jade Shield possesses 150 percent damage absorption against all elements and physical damage. Characters protected by the shield will decrease the elemental resistance and physical resistance of an opponent's in a small AoE by 20%. And of course, this cannot be stacked, but that there is really, really, really good. So that just means whatever resistance they had is just down the drain, and you could just stack that damage constantly. With just Zhongli just doing so much damage, it's just you don't really need anything else. I just roll around with Zhongli being my main. It used to be Diluc, but now it's Zhongli just because I really like Zhongli. But now with this, I can just depend on him to become the full DPS that I want him to be with this alone. And yeah, that's really fantastic for Zhongli. Broken but fun. And I think I prefer him over Zhao. Zhao's cool.
How much charge do you have for your ult?
Oh, it's already charged.
All right, let's go to a place real quick. Let's go to the Cecilia Gardens and then show it off and show them how the shield pops.
So yeah, seriously, who's showing? Okay. I would like to say that it's decent, not fully there, but I could say I mean, it does decent damage if you know how to do it right.
I will say this: his meme with at least us, not Javi's meme, Zhongli's meme is freaking the Order Master.
Oh yeah, every time.
Go show them that order, boy. Go show them that order.
I'm just like, I will run up and just do this.
And see, look, I got a shield.
Yeah. Yeah, I just get a shield and I just do that. But there's that's just me goofing around in memes. Just run up somebody and just nuke them. But with the right combination of right moves, you can actually increase the damage output for like at least 50 with me, at least. If I just go up there and just instead of just nuking them with the planet control, I can just run up and just pull out a pillar first, or hold, or just set up for 2. But depending how you go about it, you can shred their, of course, physical and elemental resistance, and you can do more damage with the ult. Like right now, I just right there. That's like 50k for within like I don't know, a few seconds if I just did it correctly.
No, yeah.
Just it depends how you.
Like I do believe you hit a mill at once, but that was the combination of all the damage, not just on one target.
Yeah. So depending on how you do it, him alone is just insane to do that so much damage by himself. But if you do just a team comp with Zhongli, you can do so much more damage. It's unreal. And of course the people see that one shots and stuff, but with Zhongli, you just the possibility of doing it more than once is just there with him.
Yeah.
You can just the right artifacts can just do so much better. Right now I don't have the right artifacts for him. They're just decent, but with the right artifacts, hopefully soon, I can just do so much more damage. There's so much, crit, and that's my goal with him. DPS like tank, just go out there and just dominate with just Zhongli.
Yeah, we get you. Alright, and now enough going into details. This is just for vague. We're not trying to like give them like, oh, do our builds. But no. So basically with this guy, you want pure damage and your choice of either making him a crit or just go all in with his animo. That's pretty much how they have him set up, and if you can find him a different way and making him even more, I want you like send that out there. I want to see that. But same thing with Zhong. You can either make him pure tank, you can make him pure damage, or you can make him a bruiser, which he's going. And that's pretty much the setups for that. His tankiness, of course, is HP. See, Child's, if you like using his skill where he has those water attacks, just go hydro damage, skill damage, and crit rate. Trust me on that. For Ganyu, you'll want to focus on your charge shot and ice.
Yeah, just a charge shot, either crit damage.
And a little bit of recharge as well.
Yeah, recharge. It's just varies how what you get. Honestly, I just work on those three: recharge, crit damage, and create. You just heard along being DPS. Very good DPS is really good. If you don't have any, if you happen to have Ganyu and you don't have any other DPS stuff, she's the one you should go with as DPS wise.
And then for the 4 stars, to backtrack on those, Diona, she's your good all-arounder support because she can give shields and heals. So work on her HP. I do believe was the scaling.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to go after that, or if you want to say, nah, screw her supportive lifestyle, I want to go crit, then go with that mastery setup that also gives charge shots and everything, because that's also good for any archers. For Fischl, just pure attack and anything dealing with her skills.
Oh, don't forget elemental mastery, because her lightning would be really good with Oz.
Yes, true.
Used to just stand around.
But it's only half, so if you have 100, and the reason why it's only half, and everyone's like, no, that's not true. Yes, it's only half when she's not out. Her elemental mastery for Oz, because they're like 2-in-1 type of thing. People probably tell you, no, that's not true, don't listen to them, but I'm just giving you info. If you don't want to listen, you don't have to listen. And same thing with Barrett Bunny and the little red panda that likes to eat hot chili peppers and spit fire for Jingling. They both have half of the elemental mastery. When they're out with their person, they get the full elemental. But anyways, Jingling, you want her as a damage dealer for Pyro, or you could just do pure damage with some crit. Crit's always a good option to have. And then Amber, trust me, build that Pyro build with some crit and a little bit of energy recharge, and she'll carry you through most of the story through leeway as well. You just have to be patient. And that's pretty much it for this. Oh yeah, and before we end it, since it's getting an hour into this, for a quick little thing, if you're going to start the Abyss at all, if you haven't done Abyss at all, just have a main damage dealer and then have like your favorite secondary or whatever be right there. Like if you have a person who isn't good with switching that you like to just stay on, have them put at the very last of your party, so that way you'll switch through everyone to power them up and stuff like that. But try and at least have someone who can heal, someone who could produce a shield that can transfer, like Zhongli or Xinyun, or Diona. Those are good transfer shields. Oh, and also the one you can get from the pool, who is also a Geo, but she's a great sword wielder. Noelle. Those are always good to have in your party, just to give you that little edge if you're ever getting grouped up. And like look for like, oh, I like this person and I like how their basic attacks are. If you're gonna work on them like that, you want 2 fire people in your party just to boost them, because the passive boosts that each party gives. Like here, let me go into the party setup. I don't know if I've showed this in my previous one, but see, have just 4 different ones out, and you get elemental resistance and physical resistance plus 15. That's for all of it. 2 fires, they'll give you, there it is, reduces cryo effect on you and increases your attack by 25. Water increases healing. Wind gives you more stamina and stuff and shortens cooldowns, so if you're like, I don't need the extra damage, I just need to pop my skills more, that'd be a double team right there that you would want to, is wind. High voltage, which is 2 electro, which reduces water time status effect on you, but increases anything that the electro can conduct to, like overload, superconduct, basically with fire, water, and ice, and gives you more energy. Then ice itself is more of a crit style, so the more, if they're affected by cryo, they take more crit. Not crit damage, but it's a higher crit. And then rock, which earth is just phenomenal now that they did this. Increases shield strength, so it helps your supporters, who gives you shields. Any of them, including Diona, including Noelle, including your other two, even the shields that drop when you crystallize, which is what you saw those red crystals earlier when he nuked the area, and it had those little red crystals I picked up. And then damage dealt increased by 15, so that's not bad when they're shielded. And damage to enemies will decrease their Geo res, so if you're a Geo heavy person who likes Geo, this is the perfect one for you. Just put Noelle in there and your other Geo, or if you don't want Noelle because you have Zhongli or whatever, then put in like Ningguang, who has decent damage output, and if you build her just right, she can hit in the millions with her ult on one character. I've seen it. I was like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, just remember to look this up. So whenever you go into your party setup, you hit, as you can see, the elemental resonance. That's where the whole thing is. And that'll help you with your little parties. And that's our little tidbit for Abyss to help you through that. I think we pretty much touched on everything with these categories and a little bit into the Abyss. So after this, I hope y'all enjoyed yourselves, and me and Javi, we're probably gonna go do a bit of farming before it switches to a different day. So y'all do you. Live your life your way.